Dance Moms wasn't on Nickelodeon.
Dance Moms was not on Nickelodeon, no. So I signed with Nickelodeon when I was 13 or 14. And it's a full overall 360. So for the last for the first, there's the right words, for the first 5 years of being signed with them, it was products, it was music, movies, television, brand deals, everything you could imagine was they essentially owned and did with me or did for me. And then once I turned 18, we added on a little more length onto the products so that way I could do my own thing and have my own rights for music, television, movies, social media, brand deals, all that. So we extended the merchandise because that is the business with Nickelodeon that really was explosive and got free and clear for music, everything.
But when you turn 21, it's going to be all you.
Yeah, so January this year, I believe, is when it flips to I can do anything.
So will you have to restock that? Like what I see in Target and Walmart and everything, they're going to be all new products out there.
Yeah, so there's this interesting gap that we're in right now because I am now an adult, and I'm going to be putting out adult music, but the Boomerang and the Kid and Candy store that like the little kids love will always be there because it's just online. And all of that content that I produced myself being a kid from age 12 till I was like 17 when I stopped doing YouTube and stopped doing kids music, that is when all that's still there. And so new kids are still just discovering it. Boomerang alone gets about 200,000 views a day.
Oh, wow.
Still to this day. And it's 8 years old. And so we're at this weird crossroads of like, the products will just kind of sunset out from Nickelodeon.
Will they, or do they keep those products going?
I mean, listen, I think it's going to be, it's a crossroads that no one's ever crossed before because no one's ever done a deal like this with a Nickelodeon, a Disney, a big warehouse, a big powerhouse. No one's even really crossed into the social media influencer having mainstream merchandise, essentially. And so it's kind of the first. And I always joke around whenever I do new things. I'm like, the kids in 10 years are thanking me for figuring this out for them. You know what I mean? It's like paving a new way. Same way that the kids 20 years ago paved Coogan accounts for me. You know what I mean?
For those that don't know, Jackie Coogan was one of our gang kids, and they made it so that the parents couldn't take all the money. So that if you're a minor and you're working, you're guaranteed a certain amount of money.
15% of every penny you make has to go into your Coogan account.
Which now they're starting to do for social media kids as well.
Which is interesting because it's my gratitude alarm. Every day at 12, I say what I'm grateful for.
The Coogan account.
Yeah, the Coogan account. Yeah, no, it's interesting because I have an incredible family around me who would never do anything shady. But there are parents and there are kids who are on YouTube and there's no laws.
Did you
for
get
it.
to keep the major percentage of what you made?
Of course, yeah. My family is so great. It's been fun to figure out as I'm getting into an adult, like how we want to streamline it a little bit.
Like the Nickelodeon deal. The family deal. Let me ask you something. Why wouldn't you, maybe this is just boring because I just love business. Yeah, why wouldn't you make a deal with Nickelodeon now? Because as you said, if you go and you start making your own products, you're not going to be promoting or representing the products that already exist.
Yes.
For Nickelodeon, which are doing well.
Yes.
So they're going to lose them anyhow. Would you ever approach Nickelodeon and say, hey, let's restructure that deal so you don't sunset out and it could be a 95-5, 5 on your part instead of losing it, and I can have 95% of it and I have the power of Nickelodeon still behind me?
No. How exposing of my life do I want to get right now? If I had the control over my products that I've wanted for the last 9 years, 8 years, it would be a different story. I would want that.
What I'm saying is you're calling your own shots now.
Yes.
Or will be.
Yes.
You know, when you're 21. Whatever you do, you're going to do.
Yeah.
Do you want everything that exists to go by the wayside? It's very profitable and very. Kids, I'm just watching my granddaughter. The kids love it.
Yeah.
So why would you just let it go?
I won't be letting it go. So instead of it being Nickelodeon JoJo Siwa, it's going to be Siwa JoJo Siwa. So we have all of the relationships with the people who actually create the merchandise. And so instead of it being me, Nickelodeon, people who create the merchandise store, it'll be me, people who create the merchandise store. Does that make sense?
You're just taking Nickelodeon out of it.
Yeah.
But I was thinking more like in a record deal. You know, if you have a record deal, if you're signed to a label.
They keep going with the music that's already out there.
That music goes. You go to another label, even if it's your own label, and you're doing.
Yeah, and that music keeps going.
But you're doing more of a Taylor Swift kind of thing in the sense that she re-recorded.
I'll re-record my own. And there is, I mean, I don't know the exact legalities of it. There is whatever we have already done keeps going, and we can keep selling. And that could go on for who knows how long. But I will say the company as well has shifted, and they shifted a lot when I came out. And I ran into the old president the other day, 2 days ago, and I was like, man, I miss you. And I told her, I was like, you look good. Like, you look like you're happy. And she was like, yeah, I've been thriving for a few years now. And it's interesting. It's hard when it's you and it's not a character, and you're being treated and sold like it's a character, you know? And I've had to put my foot down in a pretty aggressive way, being young, on some things that I shouldn't have had to. And I'm excited. I've wanted to be in charge of it